right, so I'd like to call to order the regular business meeting of the Board of Education for Monday, June 23rd to order. If we could all stand, please, and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening, everybody. Roll call, please.
Stephen Arthur.
Here.
Jim Batson.
Here.
Alex Delapoli. Patrick Rudy.
Here.
Karen Lundstedt. Here. Ellen Mahler. Here. Bill Ratzer.
Here. Okay, so we know for the record, Alex Delapoli is not here this evening. All right, our agenda, brief president's report. We have no student schoolwork next time, I don't think, right?
Correct.
No.
Okay. Superintendent's report, approve the consent vote agenda that was reviewed in detail earlier this evening in committee. With updates from the Program and Personnel Committee, there are two changes to the agenda there, that being both the lockdown protocol and initiative. There will be no action taken tonight. Those were just for information earlier this evening. So we'll have updates on those, but no need to take any action. Updates on facilities and finance. Stephen, you got a property committee?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll go over the May 22.
All right. Karen,
Meeting.
can you see it all?
Yeah.
Okay. Jim?
Nothing from me.
Okay. And then that's it. All right. Question before we start? Okay, President's report. Just for everybody in the public, we will take some action this evening to reduce the fiscal year 15 tax rate and abate fiscal year 15 bond and interest. So this is a conversation that we've had in great detail over the last two meetings. It's really sort of intended to address some of the issues that I think we've discovered in terms of sort of the overall tax rates and our overall financial status as we've reviewed things. We think there are some things that we can do next year which will allow us to, at least for next year, lower the tax rate a little bit. So we're going to take action tonight. We cannot actually legally take action to implement that, correct? We'll just pass we're going to pass a resolution that it is our intent to do so. And so that's the action that we're going to take tonight. We're going to take that up in the afternoon tonight.
You're going to take it
No
now.
communication.
Okay, all right. Okay, so is there a motion then to do that?
I move to voice the intention for the board to voice the intention to reduce the FY15 tax rate and to evade FY14 bond and interest. I'm sorry, FY15. Did I say it?
Yeah.
Okay. FY15 bond and interest funds as well.
Okay.
I second.
All right, any discussion? No? Okay, and we did discuss this in great detail this evening. So.
And we will work on the specifics of what those numbers mean over the next several months.
Okay, and then, so again, the intent then would be to come back no later than the November timeframe, and we're targeting September for the specific action that would actually then translate into next year's budget, correct?
Correct.
Okay, all right, roll call, please.
Arthur.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
Delapoli. Rudy.
Aye.
Lundstedt. Mauer. Ratzer.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. That's all I have. Superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you, Pat. And first of all, you know, our students still continue to achieve over the summer. It's absolutely amazing, young people. Sam Glover, Stephen Zhang, and Subham Patel, members of the VHHS class of 2015, all earned a score of 36 on the April ACT. 36 is the highest possible score to earn on this exam. This is the second time that Sam has earned a 36 on the ACT. That's really great, and it's kind of scary.
He's not going to get a higher score.
It's really wonderful.
You got to take,
That is fabulous.
athletics or anything.
Following students were named LHS May Students of the Month: Sarah Hirschenbach, David Truskowski, Caroline Summer, Amy Doe, Molly Downing, Austin Kruchek, Rebecca Hannigan, Krista Erlinson, Vicky Liu, Julian Torres, Tony Saya, John Burke, Jason Ike, Jessica Van Royen, and Sebastian Yates. Following students were named VHHS May Cougar Class Act Award winners: Ricky Lacer, Noah Agnew, Mike Heinz, Alexandra Shang, Nick Newman, Akash Sethi, Adrian Avidia, Katie Wynn, Joanna Jimes, Ryan Curtis, Marissa Moss, Aiden Kong, Brian Bordet, and Juan Maldonado. In addition to the 14 students receiving the honor, retiring VHHS principal Ellen Swick was presented a Cougar Class Act Award as well. VHHS is also renaming the award as the Dr. Ellen Swick Cougar Class Act Award. Cool. Yeah, very cool. VHHS senior Zachary Silver and LHS senior John Bernasco were named Comcast 2014 Greater Chicago Region Leaders and Achiever Scholarship recipients. LHS sophomore Cameron Chen won first place honors in the 2014 Metris Safety Poster and Essay Contest. Each year, LHS AP Physics C students take the qualifying exams for the United States Physics team. At the beginning of February, the students took a preliminary exam consisting of 25 challenging multiple choice questions. This year, over 4,200 students took the exam nationwide. Based on the results of this preliminary exam, 431 students nationwide were selected as semifinalists. LHS students Jack Bomruck and Tim Lee were selected as national semifinalists. Jack and Tim rank in approximately the top 10% of students taking the exam nationwide. In late March, Jack and Tim took two 90-minute open response exams as part of the semifinal round. Tim received an honorable mention and Jack received a bronze medal ranking for their respective scores in the semifinal round. Jack's ranking places him in the top half of all semifinalists and in the top 5% of all competitors. All LHS AP Physics B and AP Physics C students took the American Association of Physics Teachers Physics Bowl test in April. The test is a 40-question multiple choice exam. The top 5 scores in the school comprise the school score. Over 4,500 students from over 280 schools in the US, Spain, Canada, and China took the exam this year. The schools are divided into 14 geographic regions. Libertyville competes in the region consisting of all participating schools in Illinois and Iowa. LHS Physics B students receive second place in our region for Division I, and Physics C students receive first place in our region and 7th place overall for Division II. In addition, seniors Tim Lee and Jack Bomrock received the highest and second highest individual scores respectively in our region. The 5 students who contributed to the school score in each division were, in Division I, Jonah Brain, Brent Cow, Isaac Schur, Ann Kaur Rastogi, and Curtis Sparks. In Division II, Tim Lee, Jack Bomrock, Heaven Legan, Paul Jensen, and Stephen Zheng. Prior to the end of the school year, the VHHS entrepreneurship class taught by Beth Richards held its lemonade stand competition in the school foyer to simulate the startup business experience. 3 lemonade stands competed with the Win Life Gives You Lemon stand, led by project manager Caitlin Amadai, winning the competition with $181 in sales. That's a lot of lemonade, Pat. The 3 stands raised a combined total of $353 for charity. Proceeds were donated to Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation for Childhood Cancer Research. So again, lots of good news on the docket. Next on the superintendent's report, the board will note that we had 3 FOIA requests this month, and they are contained in your package. And I only have one thing under other this evening. Our July board committee meetings and board meetings are scheduled for July 28th. I think it is. I think it's the 28th. That is the only week the entire summer that I can take for vacation with my wife and my 2 daughters. I would ask one thing, given some of the discussions that we have, does the board have any interest in moving that meeting 1 week earlier? And if you do, then I can attend the meeting with you. If you can't, and we're not able to do that with the majority of the board, then Dr. Fleming would need to lead the meeting. So that would be Monday,
21st.
I think it's 21st, is it? Yes. Monday the 21st instead of the 28th. How does that work for you guys? Bill, you good?
That works for me.
Given that that's the budget discussion, I'll exercise my own privilege to say we're not going to do without you.
Good, thank you.
Can I be absent?
I figured, no, Yasmin, you cannot be absent, sorry.
For moving on.
Jim, you good on that one?
I'm good on that one. So that would wind up being, again, all.
We'll do, yes, we'll do our 2 committee meetings and we'll do the board meeting. Okay? Yaz, we good with that?
I think so.
Okay.
So we'll double check, but we'll find a date.
Okay, so what we will do, Carol, when Denise is back tomorrow, because Carol is filling in, sorry, I didn't tell you that Carol Scoden is filling in for Denise tonight, as she does so ably. We'll let Denise know in the morning, and we'll get hold of Alex to make sure that he's good with that too, okay?
Okay.
All right, and we'll notify the public and do the amended calendar like we do. And Pat, that is all for the superintendent's report.
All right, the consent vote agenda is attached, it was reviewed earlier this evening. Can I have a motion to approve it as listed, please?
So moved?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call please.
Batson. Oh, I'm sorry. Grudy.
Aye.
Lundstedt. Aye. Mauer. Aye. Ratzer.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
This one.
All
Do I
right.
get to vote?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, I thought there was one more.
Wait, oh, I'm sorry, I missed Arthur. I'm sorry, you were first here.
Aye.
Arthur. Aye.
I thought I was missing one.
Stuart, did you get that on the record there, Stevens? He wanted to vote separate tonight, so.
All right, Program and Personnel Committee, Chairperson Mauer.
Okay. First item on that little mini agenda are board policies. We have the second reading and adoption for all 9 policies. No information has changed from the last meeting to this meeting. Is there anyone who has questions? So then I'm looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call please.
Arthur.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
Grudy.
Aye.
Lundstedt. Aye. Mauer. Aye. Ratzer.
Aye.
Okay, the next item is the lockdown protocols. And we just wanted to make the public aware that we are using multiple strategies for different types of emergency drills and crisis drills, and we're continually updating the procedures and policies and training staff and students appropriately. So as best practice changes, we change our training to go along with that. Okay?
Yeah, very good.
All right, that does not require an action item. The next one is the one-to-one initiative. And we just wanted the public also to know that we feel that most of the infrastructure and bandwidth is become taken care of over the last few years. And the training of the teachers has been in place for them to begin to plan how we're going to implement one-to-one devices for students. And I'm very excited that we were so proactive in this, and we pre-planned on the front end, making sure that our buildings were ready, teachers, were trained and are ready to go with a one-to-one initiative. We will take all of next year to formulate a plan that is cohesive, that makes sense, that the board gets to discuss in great detail, so that we know that when we finally do put one-to-one devices into the hands of our students, the teachers are ready to go with it, the students know what they're doing, and it's not just going to be a wasted effort. So I'm really pleased with the way that that's rolled out.
Very exciting.
Congratulations.
Instruction is driving the
Yes.
use of technology, not the other way around.
And then finally, we have one educational tour request for LHS Model UN trip to Brown University in November. We are looking for a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call please.
Arthur.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
Grudy.
Aye.
Lundstedt. Aye. Mauer.
Aye.
Ratzer.
Aye.
Motion carries. You like that going first, don't you?
You looking at this?
Just kidding.
Okay, that concludes the program.
Single love tonight, I think.
Maybe on everything.
We've been here too long, probably already.
You know, it's the last shall be first.
And that concludes the program. It's now report.
Thank you. Facilities and Finance Committee, Chairperson Batson.
Thank you, Dr. Grudy.
Rather good.
Have a few items on the agenda here. The first one's a prevailing wage resolution. It's a resolution we do every year, indicating that that any contractors that we use have to comply with the Prevailing Wage Act. So we need a motion and a second for this.
I make a motion that we approve the Prevailing Wage Act as presented. Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Grudy.
Aye.
Lundstedt. Mauer.
Aye.
Ratzer.
Aye.
Arthur.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye. Next one is a developer donation agreement for the Preserves subdivision, and this is to approve basically an agreement that provides for some funding from, as they build homes in the subdivision, we get a certain a dollar amount per home coming back to the district to help offset the cost of the increase in the students that those homes will generate. So this is a fairly standard one, and this is for the Preserves subdivision. So we have a motion and a second for that one.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Sorry about that, I lost my place there.
You know, can I interrupt here?
Okay, but-
There's actually two agreements,
B is asbestos.
There are.
which I believe you need to
But they didn't.
approve
Separately.
separately.
Okay, all right, yeah, it was only one on the agenda, so thank you. So this,
One is with the developer and the other is with the county.
with the county, okay. All right, so let's start with the agreement with the developer, since I've mentioned the subdivision and the developer. We'll start again. So we
Yeah,
have a
we'll need a
and
motion,
second.
just start over.
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't have it on the list here, so let me scratch out.
Still carrying on.
So that was, so.
My motion to just include, this one is
The
for just the
developer.
developer.
Second.
Okay,
Okay, so who was?
and this is the motion for the developer, the agreement with the developer. Okay, we have a roll call.
Okay, Lundstedt.
Aye.
Mauer.
Aye.
Ratzer.
Aye.
Arthur.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
Grudy.
Okay, and then the second motion will be for an agreement with the county.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right, I make a motion that we approve the developer donation request to the county.
Second.
Any comments, questions? Okay, can we have a roll call for that, please?
Ratzer.
Aye.
Arthur.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
Grudy. Lundstedt. Mauer.
Aye.
So for those watching this on the video later, and you hear the rumbling in the background, it sounds like we're getting a lot of rain right now. To speak up, yeah. It's hard to hear sometimes. Next item on the agenda here is the FY 2015 tentative budget. And this basically approves a tentative budget so that the district can continue operating after July 1 until we go through the legal process of approving the formal budget, which happens a few months into the fiscal year, which is kind of, I always think is odd, but that's the way the process works. So we need a motion and a second for the tentative budget for FY 15.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Can we have a roll call, please?
Arthur.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
Grudy. Lundstedt.
Aye.
Mauer. Ratzer. Did I say Grudy? Yes, I did.
I didn't.
See,
Oh, I
he's got
thought
no
you were
idea of mixing them up
quiet.
each time it gets don't want to leave anything. We have a resolution calling for a public hearing on the budget, and now I've misplaced my document. We have a date.
August 11th.
August 11th, thank you. So we need a motion for a resolution to have a public meeting on the FY 15 budget on August 11th.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? We'll have plenty on that day. So can we have a roll call?
Batson.
Aye.
Grudy. Lundstedt.
Aye.
Mauer.
Aye.
Ratzer.
Aye.
Arthur.
Aye.
And then we have three bid recommendations to vote on. The first one is the Regional High School Courtyard Brick Paver Project.
That the board award the contract to National Landscape Management Company of Chicago in the amount of $63,750 for the courtyard project, of which $25,000 will be paid for by the Parents Cats Organization of LHS. And assuming that all the paperwork is correct, we will award the contract to National Landscape.
We have
Vernon Hills High School parking lot, roadway seal coatings and crack fill. I'm sorry.
We have to go over first.
Hold on one at a time.
Okay, it's technicalities.
Oh, good. I
That's
mean,
what we normally
Yeah.
do.
No, you do.
We're gonna do it individually.
You do.
Okay.
Yes.
so you can take it.
My
right,
fault.
And then so for the courtyard brick paver project, we have a motion and a second.
I move to approve that based on the justice bonus.
Second?
Okay. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Mauer. Aye. Ratzer.
Aye.
Arthur.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
Grudy.
Aye.
Lundstedt.
Aye.
Okay, next up.
Vernon Hills parking lot, roadway seal coating and crack filling, that the board award the contract to Patriot Pavement Maintenance of Des Plaines in the amount of $52,000 for the base bid, alternate bid number 2, and 4, and alternate bid number 3, Cougar Way, not be approved.
So it's for the seal coat and crack fill project.
It's for the
Bid
parking
number
lot,
2.
it's for the parking lot, the athletic areas,
So 1, 2, and 4.
1, 2, and 4, and
Not-
Cougar Way, crack filling only, but Cougar Way roadway not be approved.
Yeah, okay, so it's 1, 2, bid numbers 1, 2, and
So moved.
Second.
4. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Arthur.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
Grudy.
Aye.
Lundstedt.
Aye.
Mauer.
Aye.
Ratzer.
Aye.
And last but not least, some computer purchases.
Yes, purchase, recommendation to purchase 300 HP Pro desks from Heartland for $161,700.
Okay. We have a motion and a second.
I make a motion to buy computers at that price.
Second?
Any comments, questions?
Is it just one fraction of our total computers?
I would say maybe about 1/5, because we replace them every 5 years, so I'm guessing maybe
1/5 of the desktop.
of the desktops.
But not all together.
Yeah, not all the laptops.
No, because we have a whole bunch
Chromebooks.
we have some computer labs too that have these computers, desktops.
That would be 1,500 desktops.
I am guessing. I'm guessing.
3,400 computers. That's district-wide.
Yes, that's right. And administrative. Okay, so we had a motion, a second. Did we vote?
No.
We need to vote.
Oh, ready.
Thank you.
Arthur.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
Grudy.
Aye.
Lundstedt.
Aye.
Mauer. Ratzer.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. I think the rain is throwing us off.
It's getting harder.
Anything for other in the facilities and finance? I have nothing, so. Any city facilities and finance?
Property committee?
Property Committee update from the May 22nd meeting that we had. We covered strategic goals primarily involving property and capital planning. That also included some of the recommendations for the site plans for LHS, VHHS, as well as Brainerd property. So just wanted to let everybody know we're still working on that. The next step is to update some of those recommendations, update drawings and costs. And once we have those in hand, we will announce another meeting so that we can review those. And that's all we have.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, CEDAW had its quarterly meeting in June, and it's the proposed budget meeting where we approved the proposed budget of $70,546,763 for this fiscal year 14-15, which is about a 3% increase from last year. But a couple of highlights, just to remind you that three districts that are withdrawing from CEDAW that are going to have a big impact next year. We've got 1 year left with those, and that's Stevenson and feeder districts to Stevenson, the two feeder districts. So there's some concern and planning going on for how to prepare for the loss of revenue from that. Also, they wanted to let us know that there's going to be a 5% tuition increase coming up. They had a large increase in 11-12 of about 10%, and then you have to pay for some of the building, big building projects, which are all winding down now, almost done paying for those. So tuition was held even in 12-13. It actually saw a small decrease in 13-14, so now it's going to be bumping up again. And they're, obviously with these other schools going on, looking at anticipating about a 5% increase.
Is that because of the pull-out, or is that
There's a myriad of things, but that's, they're also looking at the students that aren't part of the cooperative, raising their tuition to the actual cost as opposed to. In fairness, you probably can
Kids
speak to some
outside,
of this.
with kids, with some students that may live outside or they're outside of the CEDAL district, they can contract in for some services we did pay a higher rate.
I guess my question is, though, is the impact of the pullout fully in their budget now, or is there going to be yet again another big hit?
It's going to be a year from now.
So a 5% increase.
And they're
is
expecting
not-
to not have balanced budget in that year. But they're also working with different things with the state, and so there's lots of flags, apprehension for how that's all going to play out. And you know, please speak to it in more
Well,
detail
I
and understanding
think
than
my,
mine.
my take, and Yasmin certainly meets with her colleagues, but my take right now is that's probably the last, for at least now, of the pullouts that we'll see. I think as we talked one time, Stevenson High School, because of some of their drop in enrollment and some of the space they have available in the building, they're able to house those programs. And their economy of scale is large enough at 3,500, 4,000 students with their feeder districts to be able to actually have those programs. If you compare and contrast that with us at Libertyville and Vernon Hills, we're at heavy capacity in our buildings. So even if we wanted to withdraw and offer those programs, we don't have the physical space to do that, and we don't have the additional staffing to do it. So the reason you get in a co-op in the beginning, and the reason there are special ed co-ops, and also places like the tech campus, is so we can leverage the collective good of the group. So when a district leaves, there's a penalty for them leaving because that has an impact on the remaining members, and that's what we're seeing here. And we saw a couple of years ago when Lake Zurich pulled out of their big, larger unit district, growing unit district, over on the other side of the county. So hopefully that's going to level out at this point, and then we'll see what the damage is, I guess you might say, or the additional expense to our district to continue on with our partner districts in the co-op. But the great majority of the districts are still in the CEDAL co-op because they simply can't afford to offer particularly the specialized services that are offered at places like CEDAL and North Shore, Special Ed Cooperative, and DuPage, and some of the other areas.
So that's.
Thank you. So that's it?
Just one reminder from IASB, and Denise asked me to remind you of this. She sent you some information about the tri-conference this coming November. So if you could take a look and review that, get back to Denise and let her know if you want to attend any or all of some sessions or some of the other activities while we're down there. And that's it.
Okay. Anything else? Mark, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Good night.